next, a short week for the Tigers. They host Cincinnati on Thursday at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. That will be a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time start on ESPN. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. If you take a minute to tie up the win at Bowling Green, and then tell us what you expect to see in the short week against Cincinnati Thursday, please.
Sure. We had a hard-fought ball game up at Bowling Green against a very good football team on both sides of the ball, a team that beat Maryland the week before and played Tennessee 2 weeks before, really close. Proud of the way our kids battled on both sides of the football. Obviously very happy to find a way to win the game. But we've got to put that behind us and get ready for a very explosive, talented Cincinnati team on a short week. So looking forward to getting to work and trying to prepare for Cincinnati.
We'll take questions for Coach Fuente, please. *1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
We'll go first to Dick Weiss with American Athletic Conference.
Hey, Coach, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the flea flicker? I mean, is it something that's been in your offensive package, something you used before? It certainly had a huge effect on the outcome of the game.
Well, we hadn't run it in a game before. We piddled around with it in the spring and then in the summer camp. And, I'd run it as a live rep a few times. Sometimes it looked good. Sometimes it looked awful, to be quite honest. Fortunately, we got it into a good look, and the kids executed it pretty well, and that ended up being a big play for us.
When you prepare for Cincinnati this week, how will you prepare for the quarterback? Will you prepare like Keel will be the starter?
Yes.
Nice. How about their backup? I mean, what were your impressions of him?
Well, he came in and won the game for him. He was probably a little bit nervous there at the first, but still found his composure and kept battling through. And I think the kids, just watching the film, my distance judgment is that the kids continued to battle for him, and they found a way to win the ball game.
One last question, Coach. You seem to have been planted a culture of winning down there. The team has won 10 straight games. Can you see that reflected in the way the kids play, particularly on offense?
Well, I don't know. Like people have talked about winning 10 straight games, but this team has really only won 3 games, and the team last year won 7 straight at the end of the year. So I do think it's good to have success. I think it changes the pitfalls, or it changes the things that you've got to guard against from being negative ones when you weren't having success to now being positive ones that you've got to make sure you guard against. But, I like that our kids hopefully believe in the way we do things, believe in the process, believe in the practice and the hard work, and realize that if they do those, they'll have a chance to succeed on Saturdays.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet.
We'll take our next question from Dan Wolken with USA Today.
Hey, Justin. You talked to the folks at Louisville when they were sort of on their way up. They pointed to the opportunity to play these weeknight games as really big in the branding of their program. I know, at Memphis it's not easy to get a lot of eyeballs nationally on your program. You certainly did in the bowl game last year, and I think people saw sort of what you guys were all about. What do you hope to get out of that opportunity Thursday, and inconveniences of the preparation aside, and what do you think people should see out of your program on a stage like that?
Sure. Well, I think it's a great opportunity for everybody, not just our program, but the city, this community, this university, and obviously our football program as well, to put on display who we are and what we're about. And hopefully we'll go out there and play the game the right way, play hard, smart, and tough, which is kind of what we try to hang our hat on here, and try to preach to our kids, and show people how we try and play the game. And hopefully we'll find a way to win it. But if we don't, I hope people will be able to watch it and see that our kids play the game hard and play the game for each other and enjoy, play with some great emotion.
Do you think your kids are going to be keyed in on that this week? Just the idea that, this is a real, national TV game opportunity, which, they haven't had a lot of, or do you think going through the bowl game has sort of prepared them for that?
Well, I do think they're completely aware of it. For me to pretend otherwise, I think would be misjudging them. They certainly pay attention to all that kind of stuff. And, we'll address it and talk about what it means, what a great opportunity it is. Obviously, when you play in these games, you usually play against a very good opponent, which we certainly are. But that we shouldn't do things differently. It doesn't, just because we're on television doesn't mean we need to do anything different. I think if we make a play, we need to do a fantastic job celebrating together, which is what we do when we're not on television. If we don't make a play, we need to respond in the right way when the other team makes a play, which is what we do when we're not on television. But they'll certainly be aware of it, and I think they'll be excited for it.
Thanks, Justin. Good luck.
You bet.
We'll take our next question from Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I know that on social media you had put out a congratulations to your wide receiver coach, Holman Wiggins, and what he's done. What can you say about how he's grown and, your relationship with him and what he's really shown over the years?
Well, I think the world of him, first of all. He's got a fantastic family, wonderful wife, and 4 great kids. I've known him for a long time. We worked together at Illinois State, and when we hired him at Illinois State, I was the coordinator and I was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, and he was hired to be the running back coach, and we could just tell immediately that he was a fantastic coach, had a great relationship with his kids, was a great recruiter, and even better person. So when I was fortunate enough to get this job, it was one of the, if not the first phone calls that I made to try and get a hold of him and try and bring him aboard. So the thing that he's done is made the transition. He played running back. He was always a running back coach. I felt like, that he would maybe have a chance to be more involved in what we were doing offensively if he was the wide receiver coach. And he agreed and has taken that on full steam ahead and done a fantastic job with our kids, teaching technique and accountability on and off the field. And I think our kids really enjoy playing for him and have a tremendous amount of respect for him.
And then looking at kind of going off of that, the high-scoring, high-powered offense you've been able to have through the first few games here, just what you can say about the talent that you have and how everything's kind of come together early on to showcase your offense a little bit here.
Well, we're a little bit older offensively than we've ever been, quite honestly. We went through some growing pains of playing freshmen and true freshmen, redshirt freshmen or sophomores. And now our guys are finally juniors, and we've got some seniors and some guys that have been around the block a little bit and played in a few games. So, I would hope that we would be a little bit more efficient offensively because we are a little bit older, and that's what's happened the first couple weeks. Is we've obviously still got room for improvement, but because we are a little bit more seasoned, I guess, we've been able to play a little bit better.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
No problem.
We'll go next to Brian Moss with TigerSportsReport.com.
Hey, Coach. Throughout the game, you guys, it was back and forth. What was it about those last 3 drives? Did you guys see something that you were able to stop them defensively?
Well, we tried to pressure them a little bit more. It was kind of like we tried everything else, and we tried to pressure them, figuring they were either going to score really quick or we were going to stop them really quick. Fortunately, we stopped them. We made some plays on deep balls, which we hadn't before, obviously. And then when we didn't pressure, we got pressure on the quarterback. We finally rushed the passer, which I thought was huge because we had not been able to get back there really all day. So I mean, those three things. We made plays on deep balls. We tried to pressure him a little bit more, and then when we didn't pressure, we got in the backfield and at least made him move around a little bit and ended up getting a sack.
And if you could talk a little bit about your offensive line, you did have some new guys come in. I think Kaiser started 2 games, I believe. Trevon Tate, I believe, started. What about these new guys that you like so much?
Well, Kaiser's a very mature freshman. He's a true freshman that was here in the spring that I really wanted to redshirt, or I should say we really wanted to redshirt, but it became apparent through 2 days that just wasn't going to happen. Highly intelligent, tough, hard-nosed kid that's played pretty well for us so far. Tate is a very talented kid that is really athletic, probably our most athletic offensive lineman, and has continued to work hard and get better. He's still maturing as a person, but has been pretty productive for us on Saturdays.
I appreciate it, and good luck.
No problem. Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Rob Fisher with Sports 56 Memphis.
Coach, you had a rough practice early last week that you were very disappointed in. How did the team respond that next day and for the rest of the week?
They did a good job. I was proud of them. I was. Somebody asked me the other day if it was, if Tuesday, if that was kind of show, and it was not. I was not happy. And more importantly, I don't think that they were happy with their performance either, which is a good thing. And they responded in the right manner, came out the next day and had a much better practice, and kind of handled their preparation throughout the week in a much better manner.
With Cincinnati, what sort of challenges they present for you?
Well, they've got fantastic players and a great scheme on both sides of the ball and in special teams. I mean, they're a very well-coached team. They're very disciplined. Obviously, they've got powerful weapons on offense. They've got a couple running backs that are really special. They've got a running back that we did not play against last year. They didn't put him in until after our game. He was a true freshman, and he's a sophomore now that's electric. I mean, he is very, very explosive. They've got 5 senior receivers that have caught balls. They've got a quarterback that can distribute it. So they're awfully explosive and dangerous offensively. On defense, they're a big physical unit, big and strong and tough on the defensive line. They fly to the ball. They've played much better defense since our game last year. Our game last year, they didn't play as well as they usually have, and since then they've played much better. So, tremendous challenge for us. They're an awfully good team.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
And we just get one more in for Coach Fuente, please.
And our final question for Coach is from Joey Johnston with Tampa Tribune.
Justin, you spoke earlier about the culture of success and how that can rub off. When you're building a program and the success hasn't come yet, and you see it, but it hasn't come yet, how difficult is it to kind of rally your guys and your coaches and keep the big picture in mind?
Well, I think that's the challenge of the leader. That's a difficult task, and in my opinion, if you can see that you're getting better and see that things are heading in the right direction, but you're not quite over the hump, so to speak, it hasn't quite manifested itself in victories, you got to continue to highlight those good things, either with your staff or with the players, that those are the things that are going to lead to success down the road, while also highlighting the reasons that you didn't get over the hump and keeping everybody up and heading in the right direction and understanding that taking a little pride in those small steps, I think, is important. When you're busting your tail trying to do things the right way and you just can't or haven't seemed to break through yet. I felt like that's where we were at in our second year. We we lost a lot of close ball games. We were pretty good on defense. We couldn't score enough points offensively, and we were really close. And I sensed some frustration, but you got to do your best to continue to address those things and keep pushing things forward and hope that you can break through sometime.
Thank you.
You bet.
Coach, thanks so much for the time today. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, as Coach Justin Fuente from Memphis. Again, the Tigers will take on Cincinnati Thursday at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN.